My beloved child, I want you to stop for just a moment, not because something is wrong, but because something is right. Something is right about this very moment. Something is right about the fact that you found this message today, that your eyes are reading these words, that your heart is present and open even when life has given you every reason to shut it closed. You are here, and the fact that you are here, still reaching, still seeking, still willing to listen, is already evidence that you have not given up on something you cannot fully explain. And what you cannot fully explain is a quiet, persistent pull of hope that does not come from you but from me. I have placed that hope in you. I have sustained that hope in you through every single season that tried to drain you dry, through every closed door that left you standing in the hallway wondering what your life was supposed to look like, through every disappointment that crept in quietly and settled like dust over your dreams. I was there, and I kept that flame in you alive, not because you earned it, not because you performed perfectly, but because I love you with a love that does not depend on your performance. And because the plan I have for your life is not finished. It is not even close to finished. And in fact, what I'm about to tell you is this. This week, this very week you're stepping into right now, is not an ordinary week. This week is a threshold. This week is a crossing point. This week is a moment where what has been prayed in private begins to manifest in the open, where what has been planted in the dark begins to push through the surface, where what has been prepared in the hidden places begins to become visible to the world around you. I need you to understand this not with your intellect alone, but with the deepest part of your spirit. Because your mind will want to argue. Your mind will want to remind you of all the other times you felt something good coming, and then watched it seem to disappear. But I am asking you to trust deeper than your mind, to trust the part of you that knows my voice, the part of you that, even when everything around you was uncertain, felt a whisper saying, hold on, something is coming. Keep going. Do not give up, because that whisper was me, and that whisper has not changed. It has only grown louder, and today, right now, it is no longer a whisper. It is a declaration. This week will change your life forever. I know what you've been carrying. I want you to know that I see you fully, not the version of you that you present to others, not the composed and capable person you show to the world on your most put-together days, but the real you, the one who lies awake at night rehearsing worries, the one who sometimes questions if all of this believing and hoping is actually doing anything, the one who has quietly wondered more than once if the life you dreamed of is actually attainable or if it was always just a beautiful idea that lives. Permanently in the future tense. I see that person. I love that person. And I want to speak directly to that person today. You have not been forgotten. Your prayers have not evaporated into an empty sky. Your tears have not fallen unnoticed. Every cry you made in your car, every prayer you whispered into your pillow in the dark, every moment you chose to keep believing even when believing felt foolish, every time you said yes to hope even as your circumstances said no, I have been present for all of it, recording all of it, honoring all of it, and building with all of it, because nothing in your story has been wasted, not the pain, not the confusion, not the long stretches of silence when it seemed like heaven was closed to you. None of it has been wasted. All of it has been working. All of it has been preparation. All of it has been the foundation being laid for what is coming now. And what is coming now is real. What is coming now is not another false start. What is coming now is not another season of almost breakthrough that fades before it fully arrives. What is coming now is a genuine turning point you prayed for, the real shift you've been waiting for, the actual change that rearranges the trajectory of your days in a way that does not undo itself when Monday comes. This is different and deep in your spirit. Even as your mind might resist, you know it is different. You can feel it. Something in the atmosphere has shifted. Something in your chest has changed. There is a restlessness that is not anxiety but anticipation, a stirring that is not fear but readiness, an awareness that something significant is on the edge of arriving. Do not dismiss that feeling. That feeling is me confirming to your spirit what I am about to confirm to you in these words. This week is your week, not because you have finally done enough, not because you have prayed perfectly, not because you have earned a turn at blessing, but because my timing is precise. My plans are intentional, and the season you have been walking through was never meant to last forever. Every season has an appointed ending. Every winter carries the seeds of spring, and the season of waiting, the season of preparation, the season of enduring, the season of quietly carrying faith through difficult days, That season is ending, and a new season, a season of visible movement, a season of answered prayer, a season of doors opening and favor flowing and clarity replacing confusion. That season is beginning right now, this week, in your life. I want to walk you through what this means, because I do not want you to miss it. I do not want you to be so focused on what has not yet changed that you overlook the first signs of what is beginning to change. So, let me tell you how it will begin. It may not begin with a fanfare. It may not begin with dramatic, visible signs that everyone around you can see. It may begin with something small. A conversation that takes an unexpected turn. A thought that suddenly brings clarity where there was confusion. An opportunity that arrives through an unlikely source. A relationship that begins to shift in a positive direction. A feeling of peace that settles over a situation that has previously caused you anxiety. Do not underestimate these small beginnings. The greatest transformations in history began in quiet moments that seemed unremarkable at the time. The breakthrough that changes everything often looks like a simple conversation, a single decision, a gentle nudge in a new direction. Pay attention this week. Watch with expectant eyes. Notice what is different. Notice what is shifting. Notice the small openings, because small openings are where the light first gets through, and where light gets through, everything begins to grow. I also want to address something that I know is present in you, and I want to address it directly and honestly, because pretending it is not there will not help you. I know that you have been disappointed before. I know that you have felt the rising of hope and then felt its collapse. I know that you have believed for something and watched it not arrive in the way you expected or in the timing you hoped. I know that disappointment has left marks. I know that those marks have made you careful, cautious, protective, hesitant to fully commit to hope, because full commitment to hope means full exposure to potential hurt. I understand that. I am not asking you to be naive. I am not asking you to ignore the experiences that have shaped your caution. I am asking you to do something different than naive optimism. I am asking you to trust me specifically, because trusting me is different from simply being optimistic about outcomes. Trusting me means believing that even when outcomes differ from what I expected, my goodness and my plan remain intact. Trusting me means anchoring your peace not in what happens, but in who I am. And who I am is faithful. Who I am is loving. Who I am is a God who has never abandoned a single person who sought me. And who I am is the one who is telling you right now that this week is the beginning of something irreversibly good in your life. So let your trust rise. Let your guard lower, not carelessly, but thoughtfully, not toward circumstances, but toward me. I am not going to disappoint you. I am not going to lead you to a place of vulnerability and then withdraw. I am moving toward you this week with intention, with precision, with a clarity of purpose that will become more and more apparent to you as the days unfold. I want to talk to you now about something very important, something that I see in you that I want to gently and lovingly address, and that is the way you have been seeing yourself. You have been seeing yourself through the lens of your limitations. You have been evaluating your possibilities through the filter of your past failures. You have been measuring what is available to you through the metric of what has not worked before. And I understand why you do this. It is how human minds protect themselves. But I need you to understand that this way of seeing yourself is not accurate, and it is not mine. The way I see you is entirely different. When I look at you, I do not see someone defined by their disappointments. I do not see someone limited by their mistakes. I do not see someone whose best seasons are behind them. I see someone who has survived things that were designed to break them and emerged still breathing, still believing, still capable of love and growth and forward movement. I see someone who carries a purpose that predates their birth, a calling that was woven into them before they understood what a calling was. I see someone with gifts and capacities that have been forged stronger in the fire rather than destroyed by it. I see someone who is not at the end of their story, but at one of the most important chapters of it, a chapter where everything that has been prepared and refined and shaped is now ready to be deployed. That is who you are. That is what I see. And this week, I want to give you new eyes for yourself. I want you to begin to see what I see. Not arrogance, not a false inflation of self, but a true and accurate understanding of who you are in me, of what you carry, of what is possible for your life when you align yourself with my purposes. Because when you begin to see yourself correctly, everything changes. The opportunities you were ignoring become visible. The connections you were dismissing become valuable. The steps you were afraid to take become possible. The future you were telling yourself was unreachable begins to look like exactly where you are headed. Your self-perception is one of the most powerful forces shaping your life. And one of the things this week is going to do is shift your self-perception. It is going to challenge the old story. It is going to interrupt the old narrative. It is going to present you with evidence that the person you have been telling yourself you are is smaller than the person you actually are, and the life you have been settling for is less than the life that is available to you. Watch for those moments this week. When something happens and your first instinct is to shrink back, to say not for me, to disqualify yourself before anyone else can, pause. That is a moment I am inviting you to grow through. That is a moment where you can choose the old response or a new one. Choose the new one. Step forward. Allow me to be right about you. Now I want to speak about something that is directly related to why this week specifically is so significant, and that is the matter of timing. You have wondered about timing. You have asked why things have not happened sooner. You have wrestled with the apparent delays in your life and tried to understand them. And I want to give you an answer today. Not a vague answer, not a spiritual platitude, but a real answer from my heart to yours. The delays were real. They were not your imagination. They were not simply your impatience colliding with a timeline that was actually fine. There were genuine gaps between what you were asking for and what arrived, and those gaps were not punishment. They were not rejection. They were not evidence that I had moved on from you, or that your prayers were falling on deaf ears. Those delays were the preparation period. Those delays were the season in which you were being built into the person capable of receiving and sustaining what was coming. Because here is what most people do not consider. A blessing received before you are ready for it is not actually a blessing. It is a weight. It is a burden. It is something that can collapse under its own magnitude if the foundation to carry it has not been properly laid. And the foundation I have been laying in you through those difficult seasons, through the waiting, through the disappointment, through the stretching and the refining, and the quiet days when you felt forgotten, that foundation is now strong enough. It is now deep enough. It is now wide enough to carry what is coming. You are ready, not perfect, not without weakness, not without areas that will still need growth, but ready in the essential ways, ready in the areas of character, ready in the areas of faith, ready in the areas of perspective and wisdom and resilience. You have been built for this, and the timing is now. This week, the pieces that have been moving in the background, the conversations and connections and circumstances and opportunities that I have been arranging and aligning without your knowledge, they are converging. They are coming together. They are moving into position, and you will begin to see them this week. Not necessarily all at once, not necessarily in the order you would have arranged them, but you will see movement. You will see evidence that things are shifting. You will experience moments that make you think, something is different now. Something is really changing. This does not feel like before. Honor those moments. Celebrate them even when they are small, because momentum begins with small movements. And once momentum begins, it compounds. This week is where your momentum begins. I also want to speak to your spirit about something that is deeply practical, and that is the importance of your inner life this week. What happens inside you this week is as important as what happens around you. In fact, what happens inside you determines how you respond to what happens around you. If you approach this week with the same lens you've been wearing, with the same fear-based interpretations, with the same self-limiting conclusions, you will be in danger of walking right past the very things I am placing in front of you. But if you approach this week with an open spirit, with expectancy, with a willingness to see something new, you will recognize the signs of my movement everywhere. So this week, I want you to be deliberate about your inner life. Start your mornings with intention, even if it is just 5 minutes of stillness, of breathing, of opening your spirit toward me before the noise of the day floods in. In those quiet moments, I will speak. I will confirm. I will direct. I will clarify. Do not rush past those moments in your hurry to get to the visible and the measurable. The visible and the measurable flow out of the invisible and the spiritual. Get the inner life right this week, and the outer life will follow. Also this week, I want you to pay attention to your words. What you say about yourself, about your situation, about your future. These things matter enormously. Do not speak death over the things I am trying to bring to life in your world. Do not keep narrating your story with the old script of limitation and impossibility. Begin to speak alignment. Begin to say what I am saying. I am saying your situation is shifting. I am saying doors are opening. I am saying you are stepping into a new chapter. Say that. Speak it quietly to yourself. Write it in a journal. Let your tongue begin to form the shape of the future I have planned for you, rather than continue to rehearse the disappointments of the past. Words are powerful. They are seeds. Plant good ones this week, and watch what begins to grow. Let me also speak to you about the people in your life, because this week, I believe specific conversations are going to matter more than you will initially realize. Pay attention this week to who reaches out to you. Pay attention to the unexpected message, the surprise phone call, the chance encounter with someone you have not spoken to in a while. Sometimes I bring the breakthrough through a person. Sometimes the door I am opening has a human face attached to it. Sometimes the opportunity you have been waiting for arrives in the form of a conversation that leads somewhere you did not anticipate. So do not be too busy for people this week. Do not be so focused on a particular outcome that you fail to notice that I am moving through a different channel entirely. Stay open. Stay curious. Stay relational. Let conversations breathe. Listen more than you speak, because you never know when an ordinary exchange is actually the beginning of an extraordinary chapter. I want to say something now specifically to those of you who have been carrying very heavy burdens, financial pressure, health challenges, relationship fractures, grief, exhaustion, a profound sense of lostness. I see you specifically, and I want to speak to you with particular tenderness. The weight you carry is real. I am not minimizing it. I am not telling you to simply think positive thoughts, and everything will instantly resolve. But I am telling you that this week, something is going to begin to lift. It may not be a complete removal all at once. It may begin as a loosening, a slight easing of the heaviest portion, a new perspective on a problem that has seemed insurmountable, a resource that appears when you did not know where one was coming from, a conversation that brings clarity to a situation that has been confusing, a moment of unexpected peace right in the middle of a difficult circumstance. Do not dismiss these early signs of relief as insignificant. They are the beginning of the full restoration I have planned. The heaviest burdens do not always lift all at once. Sometimes they lighten gradually. The way at dawn does not arrive in a single moment, but begins with a faint glow in the east that slowly brightens until full sun rises. You are approaching your dawn. The faint glow is beginning. Do not give up in the darkness when the dawn is this close. I also want to address those of you who have been experiencing loneliness, a deep, aching sense that you are doing this alone, that no one truly sees what you're going through, that even in rooms full of people you carry a private isolation that no one else can access. I see you in that loneliness. I am present in it with you. And I want to tell you something true. You have never been alone in this. Not for a single moment. Not on your worst night. Not in your deepest despair. Not in the quiet, dark hours when it felt like everyone else was asleep, and you were the only one awake with your fear and your questions and your uncertainty. I was there. I am there. And this week, I am going to make my presence more tangible to you. You're going to feel less alone this week in ways that might surprise you. Connections may form. Existing relationships may deepen. A sense of my nearness may settle over you in quiet moments and refuse to leave. And where there has been isolation, community will begin to grow. Let it. Receive it. You were not designed for isolation. You were designed for connection, and connection is coming. I want to take a moment now and speak about the area of your purpose, your calling, your sense of what you are here for, because I know that this is something many of you have wrestled with, and I know that the wrestling has at times felt defeating. You know you were made for something. You sense there is a specific contribution only you can make to the world. But the path to it has seemed unclear, and the delays have made you doubt whether you were reading your own purpose correctly or whether you had a purpose at all. I want to put that doubt to rest permanently. You have a purpose. It is specific. It is real. It is not just a vague sense of wanting to be useful. It is a precise contribution that the world will be different for having received from you. And this week, I am going to give you more clarity on it. It may come as a sudden, strong sense of direction when you least expect it. It may come as an opportunity that seems to be designed specifically for your particular combination of gifts. It may come as a word from someone who speaks into your life something so accurate and resonant that it lands in you like a key turning in a lock. However it comes, receive it. Do not deflect it with false modesty. Do not minimize it with self-doubt. Say yes to the clarity. Say yes to the direction. Walk toward it even if the full picture has not yet been revealed. You do not need the full picture in order to take the next step. You just need the next step. And the next step is being illuminated for you right now. Let me speak now about your emotions this week, because emotional health is going to be important in navigating the season well. There may be moments this week when you feel unexpectedly emotional, not out of sadness necessarily, but out of a sense of significance, of something momentous happening, of weight and wonder mixed together. Do not suppress those emotions. They are signs that your spirit is registering the magnitude of what is occurring. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to cry if the tears come. Tears of relief, tears of gratitude, tears of release. Allow yourself to feel joy even when things are not yet fully resolved, because joy is not the reward of finished circumstances. Joy is a gift available in the midst of becoming, and the becoming that is happening in your life right now is worthy of joy. Also, do not be surprised if this week brings with it moments of testing. The enemy of your soul does not surrender territory quietly. When I begin to move powerfully in someone's life, there is often an attempt to interrupt that movement with distraction, discouragement, or conflict. If this week presents you with unexpected opposition, do not interpret as a sign that things are going wrong. Interpret as a sign that things are going right, that something of value is in motion, and that the opposition is an evidence of that value. Stand firm. Do not retreat. Do not abandon the forward movement, because the path encounters resistance. Resistance is part of the journey. It is not evidence that the journey is wrong. When you encounter it this week, dig in. Declare your faith. Remind yourself of what I have promised. Remind yourself of what I am doing. And keep walking forward, because the other side of the opposition is where the breakthrough is located. Let me speak now about forgiveness, because I know that for some of you, the weight you are carrying is not just external circumstance, but internal unforgiveness. Not just what others have done to you, but the ongoing cost of carrying that wound, replaying that hurt, keeping that person or that situation in a mental courtroom where they are perpetually on trial. I am not minimizing what was done to you. I am not asking you to pretend it did not happen. I am not asking you to restore something that would not be healthy to restore. But I am asking you to consider releasing the weight of it, to consider transferring the burden of justice to me, to consider that the prison of unforgiveness has walls that face inward, and that the person most constrained by it is you. This week, as a new season begins to open, I want you to consider what you need to lay down in order to walk forward freely. Old resentments travel heavy. Old wounds, when kept open, become infected. The path into your new chapter is not wide enough to carry all the old grievances through. Some things need to be released so your hands are free to receive what is coming. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. This is a courageous decision to stop allowing a past wound to determine a future blessing. Release it this week. Give it to me. Let me carry the justice of it. And walk forward with your hands and your heart open and unencumbered. I want to speak to you now about faith, about what it means and what it requires in the specific moment of your journey. Faith is not the absence of doubt. Faith is not the pretense that everything is already fine when everything is not yet fine. Faith is not a denial of reality. Faith is a choice to anchor your perspective in what I've said rather than only in what you currently see. And what I'm saying right now, not abstractly, not metaphorically, but directly to you, is that this week begins a transformation in your life that cannot be reversed. That is a specific declaration. Hold it. Write it down. Return to it when doubt tries to argue, because doubt will argue. Your mind will present the evidence of the past as an argument against the possibility of the future. And in those moments, I want you to return to this truth. I said so. I am saying this week will change your life. I am saying the shift is real. I am saying the movement is happening. And my word is the most stable thing in your universe. Everything else shifts and changes and disappoints. But my word does not return to me empty. It accomplishes what I sent it to accomplish. I sent this word for you. Receive it as yours. Now, let me paint a picture for you of what your life will begin to look like as this turning point unfolds. Not because I want to give you a specific script that leaves no room for surprising and beautiful ways I exceed expectations, but because I want you to have a general sense of direction so you can recognize it when you see it. You will begin to experience a greater sense of peace. Not because all your problems are resolved, but because your relationship with uncertainty is changing. You will begin to feel more settled in yourself, more grounded, more certain of who you are and what you carry. The things that previously triggered anxiety, and you will begin to lose some of their power. You will notice that you respond to difficult situations with more wisdom and less reactivity. You will find yourself making better decisions, not because you're suddenly smarter, but because your spirit is clearer and less clouded by fear. In relationships, you will begin to notice a shift. Some relationships will deepen in beautiful ways. People who are already in your life will show up more fully, more presently, more supportively. And some relationships that have not been serving your growth will naturally begin to create distance, not through drama, not through conflict, but simply because you are growing in a direction that those connections cannot follow. This is healthy. Not every person who has been part of your journey is meant to travel with you into your next chapter. Let the natural pruning happen without grief. The connections that remain and the new ones that form will be more aligned, more nourishing, more truly supportive of the person you are becoming. In the area of provision, you will begin to see evidence that what you need is being supplied. Not always in a dramatic way you might imagine, not always through a single dramatic windfall, but through a steadiness, a consistency, a sense that things are working out, that needs are being met, that provision is flowing. There will be moments when something arrives at exactly the right time in a way that you know is not coincidence. And in those moments, let your gratitude rise fully. Gratitude is fuel. Gratitude is the thing that opens the channels wider. When you receive well, when you receive with genuine, deep, open-hearted thanks, you position yourself to receive more. Practice gratitude this week not as a spiritual exercise, but as a genuine response to genuine gifts. In the area of your calling and your work, you will begin to sense direction. Opportunities that feel genuinely aligned with who you are and what you are built for will begin to appear. There will be a sense of rightness about them. A sense of this is for me. This is connected to what I am here to do. Trust those senses. They are not wishful thinking. They are discernment. They are my spirit confirming that what you are seeing is real alignment. Step toward those opportunities. Apply for the position. Make the phone call. Send the email. Have the conversation. Propose the idea. Take the step, because doors only open when someone walks toward them. I will be on the other side pulling them open, but you have to move in their direction. This week, as I said, will also change you internally, and I want to describe some of what that internal change will feel like. You will feel lighter. There will be a sense of burden being lifted, of weight being removed, of something heavy that you've been carrying for a long time beginning to leave your shoulders. You may not be able to identify exactly what changed, but you will feel the difference. Trust it. It is real. Something is being released. Something is being healed. Something is shifting in the deep places, and its first evidence is this lightness, this expanding sense of space in your chest. This breath you can take more fully than you could before. You will also feel more hopeful, and this hope will feel different from previous hope. It will feel more stable, more grounded, less like wishful thinking and more like something solid, something you can stand on. That is because this hope is no longer entirely based on circumstances. It is based on my word, and my word does not erode the way circumstances do. This is the kind of hope that lasts, the kind that carries you even when the visible is slow to align with the invisible. Let this hope settle in you. Let it become the new normal of your internal atmosphere, and you will feel more like yourself, not the fearful, diminished, cautious version of yourself that the difficult seasons produced, but the real you, the you that existed before the disappointments painted over it, the you that was created with joy and confidence and curiosity and passion, the you that knows how to dream and dare and love fully. That person has not gone anywhere. They have been waiting. They have been protected. And this week, they are beginning to reemerge. Let them. Welcome them back. Celebrate their return. Because who you are at your core is a gift, not just to yourself, but to everyone whose life you touch. I want to close this message to you by speaking about what it means to walk through the rest of this week with the right posture heart. Because the message is not the transformation. The message is the invitation. The transformation is what happens when you say yes to the invitation, when you choose to engage with this week not as another ordinary set of days, but as a sacred, significant, appointed turning point that I am declaring it to be. Walk through this week with your eyes open. Watch for the signs of my movement. Pay attention to what feels like confirmation. Pay attention to the doors that open, the words that come, the connections that form, the peace that settles, the clarity that arrives. Walk through this week with your heart open. Do not let the weight of the past close you off from the possibility of the present. Do not let the fear of future disappointment prevent you from fully receiving present blessing. Open your hands. Open your heart. Open your spirit. Say yes to what is coming. Walk through this week with your mouth aligned. Speak what I am speaking. Declare what I am declaring. Let the words that come out of your mouth be seeds of the future. I am building rather than tombstones for the past that is ending. Your words have creative power, and this week they are particularly important. Walk through this week with your feet moving. Do not wait for perfect conditions before you take a step. Do not wait for complete clarity before you begin to move. Do not wait for all the obstacles to be removed before you walk forward. Take the steps available to you. Do the thing in front of you. Make the move that is possible today, and trust that as you move, the path will become clearer, the next steps will become visible, and the full picture will assemble itself as you walk. I love you, my child. That love is not contingent on you getting everything right this week. That love is not a reward for your performance or a response to your worthiness. It is unconditional, complete, and utterly unwilling to let you go. I am not standing at a distance watching to see how you handle this week. I am walking through this week with you, step by step, moment by moment, as present in your most ordinary Tuesday afternoon, as in your most dramatic breakthrough moment. I am yours and you are mine, and that does not change. What changes this week is your circumstances, your direction, your internal landscape, your perception of what is possible, your confidence in who you are. What does not change is the love that is driving all of it. So breathe, receive, step forward, believe, and watch, because this week is not ordinary. This week is not just another 7 days on a calendar. This week is the beginning of something that will reshape the entire arc of your life. This week is the answer to prayers you have prayed in private. This week is the moment where the preparation season ends and the manifestation season begins. This week is your turning point. It is your breakthrough. It is your dawn. And it is here, right now, for you. I would not say it if it were not true. I do not make declarations without intention. I do not stir your spirit without reason. I am stirring it right now because the movement is real. The shift is happening. The change is beginning. And I need you to be ready to receive it with open hands and a willing spirit. You are ready. You are prepared. You are exactly who I need you to be right now in this moment. Step forward, beloved child. The week that changes everything is already here. Walk into it. Walk through it. Walk beyond it into the fullness of the life that has always been waiting for you. I am with you in every step. Trust me. Walk forward. Receive it. This week will change your life forever.